Hey, Bayek, it's me, and in today's video, we're going to look at this. This is Contamination from 1980, and this was kindly sent to me by Phil, and again, I'd just like to say a big thank you. It's great. Thank you so much for sending it. It's so kind of you. Okay, this film is 95 minutes long, and that's the uncut version. The original version that got some distribution originally came under various problems and was only 82 minutes, so quite a lot was actually cut from this film. And you're probably wondering why, you know, but that will be explained in this. It's, if you look on Rotten Tomatoes, yes, it's not rated too highly, 40%. It's often seen as just not very well received, poor in terms of its originality, etc., etc., which I'm going to go into. It's not what you expect, really. It's an Italian horror science fiction film. I think it's a lot of science fiction. The horror is there very much so, and I think the reason for that is, well, I'm just going to explain why. It's directed by Luigi Cozzi. I'll say it like that. He's this Italian director who also wrote the screenplay. Now, the story behind that is he went to see the film Alien, was so impressed by Alien, he loved it, that he decided, we'll do an Italian version, but make it a bit different. And that's, having said that, that is why I think there's immediately a lot of criticism about this one. So, it's not Alien, is it? Hey, by heck, it's a rip-off and it's not very good. That they don't understand. But actually, if you think about it, that he was aware of these kind of things and thought, well, I'll put it in, set it on the Earth, and we'll look at different aspects of this. But of course, it's not just an Alien rip-off, you could say, if you want to do it, and it's not a rip-off, but he's I'll use the word influenced by other films. Like this beginning, we get he says it's them, and then we've got the Pods, which is like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. We've got elements of Quatermass he talks about, the director. There's so many different sci-fi influences just put in. And by doing that, they create their own version, their own vision. And you can't say, oh, it's a rip-off of this and that. Yeah, it's got Italian cinema was very good at doing that in this period in terms of horror and sci-fi. And obviously it was looking at a lot of American big features at the time. And was inspired by them to do their own versions, and directors then were able to do that. But I think it's important to say that these directors were very creative and got their own vision, and you get a film which is, you know, really enjoyable. And for the budgets and that these films were churned out, they do a really great job. I think it's also important to say this director worked with Argento. Everybody knows Argento, and these influences quite clear here, including on the music. You know, the music we get, they put it here as The Goblin, but I just know them as Goblin. You know, they were great soundtracks for Argento movies and other movies, and they do this one as well. And that just I really enjoy that music. It's great, but that's just another bit of point. He had actually directed a science fiction film before this in 1979 called Star Crash. Then in 1983, he directed a film called Hercules. So we've got various things at the same sort of time. I think he had a certain vision. He had to go to various people to get the money to finance this. And I think had to make certain compromises that you can see in terms of when they're producing it. But, I mean, in terms of actual shooting, it was about 5-week shoot. And then there was a bit more doing effects and, various things that they had to do to the film, producing it. They spent 3 weeks in Rome actually doing the films in the studios. Then they went on location for 2 weeks. All this is fitted in pretty quickly. They went to New York, Florida, and Colombia. Yes. So this just adds more, I think, depth to the film, the way they film it, and put it all together. It works really well. But as I say, a lot of people say, how did they afford with the special effects? Yes, a lot of it is clever direction, because the major thing is the animatronics that were used on this, and that was for the big, if you want to call it the big monster, and also the eggs, eggs, whatever you want to call them, they're also brilliantly conceived, even though, it's on a small level. And, of course, he's able to look like it's there's masses of these eggs, in 100, but they look great. I think they look great. And of course, there's all the when people are exploding and all that. Again, it looks very effective, but it's all done with great, I think, direction. He's able to do all these things. The problem, of course, was that the exploding things looked so good that a lot of people were not very pleased with it in terms of certificate. I don't think he was particularly aiming to get these sort of notoriety. Yeah, can't get my words out. In terms of blood and gore, but it was just following the Italian tradition, as we've seen in all these directors. Let me just talk a little bit about the actors involved here. We've got Ian McCulloch. Now, he was known in TV terms in this country for The Survivors, which was a brilliant TV series. I think it was from the 1970s. Excellent TV series, well thought of. And he was like a lot of these actors, TV actors, who decided to go to Italy. He made 3 films in Italy. Zombie Flesh Eaters and Zombie Apocalypse. God knows how I remember them. I remember them just now. And this one. So he made these 3 Italian films, and they became quite notorious. And of course, they ended up as video nasties. Yes, this film is a video nasty. Wow, yes. Oh, anyway, we'll talk a bit more about that. Let's go into the main female lead is played by a Canadian actress called Louise Maline. Maline, I think, or Malheur. I don't know. I'm not really. When you look her up, she's very much a sort of TV kind of actress, and the things she's appeared in are nothing like this. I'm sure she wondered what she'd got herself into when she plays that. She plays the role well. I can see she wasn't totally, she went along with it and does well in that sense. So I have to applaud her for doing this script and probably not being totally behind it. But I think she gives a good performance in it. She plays Colonel Stella Holmes. Yes, that's the name of the leading female in this. And then we've got the other lead. He's an Italian actor called Marino Meze. Yeah, I think that's it. He plays the police lieutenant, New York cop Tony Harris. It's ironic, isn't it? Italian playing a Tony, an American cop, but there we are. Now, he's got really quite an interesting pedigree of terms of films that he's appeared in. He was in The Night Porter, 1974, which is Dirk Bogart film. Very controversial it was, but well thought of film. Very well thought of. And then, I like this bit, he was also in Emmanuel Around the World from 1977. And this is my favourite Emmanuel. It has to be. It's Laura Gemser, as known as the Black Emmanuel. So immediately went up my right. I love those kind of sort of exploitation sort of films that we had in that period. She always played the journalist and what have you, but he's in that. He's fantastic. And then I think perhaps his most famous film, even though it's considered the weakest of the films, he was in The Godfather 3. Yeah, he was in that. So I just throw that in, So, I mean, we've got quite an interesting set of lead actors here. And I think they do a good job. I think they're into the doing it, even though I'm sure some looked at the script and wondered what, as I say, they let themselves into. But apparently the director is so good with them. They really liked him and got on well and went through what he did. And I think this shows the genius of this director. He's such a good, he had such a good eye for the film, in what he wanted, and knowing it was a very limited budget because he was scrambling to get money to pay for it. And the special effects, if you want to call them that, are absolutely fantastic. I'm sure there's some moaning again, but, I don't care when people start moaning about special effects. It's 1980 and they're brilliant and I really like them. Yes, they're great. Yeah. I mean, when you've got a low budget, you've got to be very creative, and these people were always very creative. So I think overall, the story is basically a former astronaut, that is Ian McCulloch, and the other two, the colonel, government agent, and the policeman, originally set out to track down the source of the mysterious alien pods, which somehow are causing people to explode. At the start of the film, we see it all. The start of the film's great as well. He said that was ripped off from Them, another sci-fi film. And of course, they discover that this alien Cyclops, I know, yes, come on, yes, alien Cyclops, it uses these humans, as you say, uses people to plant these eggs all over the world with their mission, to get rid of all you humans, I think. Yeah, it's one of those stories, yeah. But I know, it's great. It's convincing. And I think, I don't want to give too much away about it, because I think it'll spoil it. You've got to watch it. You've got to watch it. But you'll enjoy it. Yes, you will, honestly. It's a fantastic film. Yeah, it's I just can't say anything else about it. It's a low-budget film that you just sit there and just enjoy and love so much. And Arrow got a brilliant release here. This was released in 2015, and there's the extras. I'll just show you. There's a cover. There's all the rundown. Look at all the extras. Loads of extras on here. And there you got the 2 discs. Blu-ray, DVD. There's my note from Phil. And then there's another booklet in here. this is a fantastic release. It really is. Arrow, once again, they just produce so many great videos. And these releases, these Blu-ray releases, amazing, as we all know. And there's loads of them. And I've not got that many, but I've got a few. So there it is. That's my review of this. Yes, I would definitely recommend it. Yeah, that's Contamination from 1980. Yes. So if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe and we'll let you know when we put them out. And then if you really like this, that would be great. Please give it a like, because then it gets in algorithms. I say all this costs note, and hopefully more people might enjoy the videos. And I really love to hear your comments as well. Please put some comments if you want about this film, or if you've seen it, let me know what you think. Just generally, like it is. Right, so all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.